Well, good morning everyone, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, I'm your hostess, and we are in my kitchen. And today we have been gifted all kinds of peppers, banana peppers, jalapenos, and some Tabascos. And I have decided that these are going to be dehydrated and ground into a pepper powder. And I can use it in all kinds of things. I think there's some other peppers in here. So we're going to get these dehydrated today. I've got a lot to go through, and I'll show you why. I went out to my garden this morning and I harvested the last of our sweet basil. I still need to go out there and harvest our mint. This will be dehydrated and used as an herb in my spaghetti sauce and some other dishes that we like it in. And it is also good for other things. So we're going to get this one dehydrated, and it smells so good, y'all. We were also gifted some okra, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this yet, so more than likely this will just be bagged and put in the freezer as is, unwashed, because when I take it out I can wash it off and I can do whatever I want to do with it. Some of the pods might be too big. I may allow them to dry and collect the seeds out of them, but other than that, we're going to have fresh okra in our pantry. I could dehydrate these. I might, depending on how many trays my peppers take up, because I do have 2 dehydrators. And we're going to try to get these done today along with the peppers. We also received a half a gallon, or not a half gallon, a half of a 5-gallon bucket of tomatoes that I need to process. So that's on the agenda also, but it may not get to it today. It may be tomorrow, maybe the next day, I don't know, but I've got to process tomatoes. Alrighty, I have washed all the banana peppers. I did pop off a few of the stems, and because I could just set them in there like that, it'll take longer. I'm just going to cut them right down the middle and drop them in my tray. Just open them up and drop them in there. Seeds and all. Because I am not worried about the seeds. Once these are dried out, I can take the seeds and put them separate if I want to. But this is just an easy way for me to dehydrate these and get them ready to put away and have them shelf stable for a long time. And it really doesn't matter how you slice them. You can slice them in little rings if you want to. I'm just going to load these trays up, and I'm using my old Ronco dehydrator that I bought many years ago. I think this thing is well over 20 years old, and it's still working. It doesn't work as good as the newer versions, but it still works. And I dehydrate out on my porch just to keep from heating up my house. By the way, I've got all my windows open. It is just absolutely gorgeous weather right now that we're having, and I'm letting in all the fresh air I can. And we're just going to load this thing up and see how many trays we get out of this. But this is a wonderful way to preserve extra hot peppers, and I promise you I've got enough hot pepper sauce on my shelves probably to last us a couple of years, if not longer. And I have made hot sauce also that I canned last year, and I'll probably be canning more of that next year, but I'm not getting enough peppers at one time to really do any of those recipes. And we didn't plant any hot peppers this year. Well, we did, but we didn't get any plants out of them. I'll put it that way. So I'm just going to do this real quick and get this thing loaded up. And let's see if I can get a couple more in here. You want to wear gloves if you have a problem with the hot sauce on your hands. I have a problem with the gloves. So I can't wear gloves. I have to deal with the hot peppers. And I try not to keep my face too close to where I'm cutting because the juice does come out of them. And we're just going to get these on here and ready to go in the dehydrator. One of the reasons that we preserve our food is because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And it's always nice to have something like this in your pantry. Hot peppers have capsaicin in it. It's really good for arthritis. And it also, I believe, staves off a lot of infections. You know, common cold and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's really something that you would want in your pantry if you can tolerate hot peppers. If you can't tolerate the heat and the seeds, by all means, de-seed these and devein them. And use them up. Don't let them go to waste. If I had any bad ones in here, they went out to the chickens. And the rest of these are looking good, so we're going to get these trays filled up. And I'm probably going to have enough to fill this Blanco dehydrator up. Between the habaneros, the banana peppers, and the Tabascos that I have that were all gifted to us. Never look a gift horse in the eye, they say. Well, I look my friends in the eye and tell them thank you every time. Because these are wonderful. It's a wonderful addition, and we like spicy foods anyway. My husband and I both agree on that. We do like some spice in our life. But there's a lot of things you can do with these. And we are just going to do these up as a powder once they're dehydrated. So I've got 2 trays done so far. I'm going to wash these off. These are the jalapenos. And there might be some cayennes in here. I think that's a cayenne. So we're going to get these washed up and get them on the tray also. Okay, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to go down the middle of these and just slice them open and lay them out. And a little bit of this powder will go a long way in seasoning because it is going to be very concentrated. You can make your own chili seasoning mix with this. I mean, you can come up, I'm sure you could come up with a lot of recipes, especially those that like the hot peppers. And I am taking the caps off if they'll come off. This one don't want to come off. See if I can find one in here that's a little easier. You just take your cap and you pull it back, and it usually pops right off. And our friends were gracious enough to send us these. I'm blessed beyond measure with friends that love us. And I think about all the years that we gave groceries out of our backyard garden to other neighbors, and now we are reaping the reward of that also. Since our garden did not do well this year, we still have been blessed and able to put up food, and I'm thankful for that. I do have a bag of pink peas out on my porch that I need to bring in. I've got to get them out of the shells. We have allowed them to dry. And I've got to get them done. I've got sunflower seeds that I've got to process. And then I've got to go out to the garden, and we're going to be harvesting very soon the lima beans that have been drying on the vine, and our birdhouse gourds, and hopefully our loofah will have time to finish developing. So I'm looking forward to all of those things. This is such a relaxing job. Some people don't like chopping. I do find it relaxing. It is monotonous sometimes when you have a lot to do, but I try to think of all the good things that I could do with what I'm working on. And my one little cayenne, or my cayenne pepper, I'm just going to lay that in there like it is. It does not need to be cut open. If I had enough of the cayennes, I would string them. And you probably could string the jalapenos. I've never tried it. You probably could string all of these peppers, but I've never tried to string all of the different varieties. We're just going to finish laying these out. We're almost done with this tray. And these are full of seed, these jalapenos. So this is going to be really good to have in our pantry. I'm really excited about this. See if I can get you turned a little bit. I don't know if you've been able to see me, what I've been doing, but I'm just slicing these in half and laying them open face up. I had more jalapenos, I think, than I had anything, but they're small. They're not fully developed. So we're just going to get these decapped. And I might even do some spice blends with this in the future for those that like a little heat. I dehydrate in my Excalibur at 145 degrees for 12 to 24 hours, and this Ronco, it took about 24 hours to dehydrate all these peppers. Also find a spot outside of your home. We use our back porch to dehydrate your peppers because the fumes from the peppers can affect your lungs, and you don't want that in your lungs. Okay, these are pretty much destemmed. I use parchment paper to dehydrate the Tabascos. Okay, y'all, I have dehydrated okra, and I also dehydrated the whole pod, so you know that you can dehydrate them too. And I'm just going to go ahead and get these powdered up. This will make a really good thickener for soups and stews and so forth. Get this loaded into my NutriBullet. Y'all pardon my arm. Putting it on the right direction. powder from the first batch. This last one, these were a little bit on the tough side, so I did not want to use them trying to slice them up, so I went ahead and just did them up whole. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to get these things ground up, and that will go in my spice cabinet for a thickener in place of cornstarch or anything else that you might use for a thickener. I got one in there that don't want to go down. There it is, folks. I have about a cup of okra powder that I can use in place of cornstarch. I have about a cup of cayenne, jalapeno, banana pepper, and Tabascos. There was one cayenne pepper in this. And this can be used in some of my seasoning mixes. It can be sprinkled over the chicken feed to help them lay. It can be used in recipes in place of chili pepper powder. And it will be a good addition to our kitchen. But like I said, you do not want to breathe this in. When you grind it up into a powder, you want to let it sit and let it settle before you take it out of this and jar it up. So I'm just going to stand back and pour that because I don't want to be breathing in that dust. Alright, y'all, this is the jalapeno, cayenne, Tabasco, and banana pepper powder, and it's a little over 1 cup. And this is the okra powder, and those will be going in my pantry, and they are shelf stable now and ready to be used, and you'll probably see me using these in future videos.